Well, over the last 3 videos, I've been making a case that I believe with all my heart. In the first video, I argue that modern education with its watertight bulkheads teaches students subjects, but it fails to teach them how to think. They're going to learn everything except the art of learning. And in the second video, I offered an alternative, a much better road to education, the road the West has always regarded as self-evident, the Great Conversation. 6 years, 1 cohort, reading the primary text of the Western tradition, all in chronological order as living voices organized around the 6 great ideas of truth, goodness, and beauty, liberty, equality, and justice. In the third video, I talked about how it works. There's 2 90-minute Socratic seminars each week, 32 weeks a year, 4 high school credits per year, 24 credits over 6 years. And we cover literature and history, philosophy and theology, geography and civics, economics, art, music, architecture, logic, writing, and rhetoric, all integrated the way reality itself is integrated. All you need to add is some physical ed, some math and lab sciences, and the rest is right here. Now, today, I simply want to invite you into my course. This fall, I'm opening the Great Conversation to its founding cohort. 12 to 16 students who are aged 12 to 13 years old. These students will begin with Genesis and Homer in year 1, and 6 years later, they're going to finish with Lewis, Tolkien, and Solzhenitsyn, having read the whole arc of the Western tradition together in order as one community. Now, the tuition for this course is $3,000 a year. It's $18,000 across the full 6 years, and that rate is locked once you enroll. It'll never increase for your family ever, regardless of what future cohorts pay. Plus, you can pay annually or on a monthly interest-free payment plan. But I want to put this figure into perspective, all right? So $3,000 a year for 4 high school credits works out to about $750 per credit for live instruction twice a week in a seminar capped at 16 students, taught by a PhD who has given his career to this tradition. Now, families routinely pay more than that for a single online course with a fraction of this scope. And a classical Christian day school where the humanities block would be one part of a much larger tuition, that typically runs many times this amount each year. So I price this course this way deliberately because I want it to be filled with the right students. I'm not running an elite prep school for students of the wealthiest families. That's not the goal here. As Hutchins frequently argued, the education of the best is the best education for all. So now I do want to be candid with you about how enrollment works because it is different from anything that you've probably ever encountered, right? Because of its 6-year continuity, this cohort can only enroll once, and then it closes forever. Right? That's just the nature of this kind of course. There's no joining it in year 2 or 3. That can't work because the depth of the conversation in year 5 depends entirely on what the same students have been arguing about in year 2. And so a student who wasn't there for Achilles, can't fully answer for Aeneas. Now, the cohort's not a feature of the course. The cohort is the course itself. And so when these 12 to 16 seats are filled, the door closes not until next fall, but forever. Okay? So if you have a child who's 12 or 13 years old, this is the moment. Now, that's not because I say so. I'm saying because arithmetic says so. A 6-year course that begins at 12 has to begin at 12, right? So there's this old proverb that I've often shared with my readers. You've probably heard it, that the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, but the second best time is to plant it today. And really all that proverb is saying is math. You can't do anything about yesterday. You can do something about today. So here's your next step. Below this video, you're going to find a link to an interest form. It'll take you about 2 minutes to fill it out. Tell me about your child, who they are, what they love, where they are in their education, and I'll personally follow up with every family who fills out the application. Now, we'll have a real conversation. You can ask me anything, and together we're going to discern whether this course is the right fit for your child. There's not going to be any pressure. There's no obligation. There's no sales pitch. If this isn't the right fit, I'm going to tell you so, and I'll gladly point you toward what is. But if it is the right fit, If you have one of those young people who's always hungry for something real, then I would count it a privilege if I got to spend the next 6 years introducing your child to Homer and Moses, to Plato and Paul, to St. Augustine and Dante, to Shakespeare and Milton, to Dostoevsky, Lewis, and Tolkien. I love studying with students, these great books. And so the great conversation has been going on for 3,000 years. It's never ended. It's just waiting for the next generation to join it. Please fill out the interest form today if you're interested. Let's talk about your child's seat in the table. I'm Dr. Scott Postma. Thank you for watching, and I hope to meet your family soon.